I have to say, I'm just following in his footsteps.
Very true.
41 सर, क्या बात है, मुझे तो लगता है रिकॉर्ड है सर. जय झूलेलाल. अभी उनके सामने मैंने घर लिया है ना. अभी हम लैंड्स एंड में, बैंड स्टैंड में सर, मैंने भी घर लिया है 120 करोड़ का. तो अभी ऐसे करोगे तो फिर 41 ब्रांड्स तो करनी ही पड़ेंगे ना मैडम. मेरी सूजन मैडम, मेरी बॉस यहाँ खड़ी है, वो बोलती है आप हाँ बोलते जाते हो, अपना हमारे कैलेंडर में उतने डेट नहीं है किसी ब्रांड को देने के लिए. आप क्या कर रहे हो सर?
ब्रांड एंडोसर ऑफ द ईयर.
अरे बैठो सर, देखो मैं तो अभी आया हूँ, मुझे लगा आप 10-15 और बातें करेंगे. आपने तो मुझे पूछा भी नहीं.
ओके, अब हम बात करेंगे.
अरे JWTC कोई आया है क्या? JWTC कोई है यहाँ पे? हेलो ONM, नोबडी, सब आए हैं. क्या बात है सर. हेलो, नमस्कार सर.
You've seen this for yourself. Unconventional is the only mantra for this gentleman here. From his choices that he makes for his films to his absolutely inimitable style in fashion, he has truly broken all records. And at the IAA, which honors leadership in every field that you take, we could not have asked for a more apt person than Ranveer to actually be with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you all. Look at this illustrious room with all these well-dressed, prominent people. Hello ma'am. Hello. आपका शो होस्ट करने वाला हूँ मैं अगले महीने. उसी की मीटिंग से आ रहा हूँ. इतना हार्डवर्क, देखो इतना हार्डवर्क मैम, इतना हार्डवर्क. कोई करता है इतना हार्डवर्क? And that's the key, sir. Before you even ask me, I'll tell you there's no secret. There's no secret. It's just one mantra. I don't intend to disrupt or be unconventional. I'm just being me. Now, if that means I'm disruptive and unconventional, perhaps that's what I am authentically. So the only key, the only thing I really make sure I do every single day is work hard. And that is true for my advertising equity as well.
Absolutely, Ranveer, and that is what I am told. The 34 brands that
34 nahi hai sir.
34 nahi?
41 ho gaya sir.
41 ho gaya.
Are jai jhulelal, jai jhulelal.
Of which 9 of them happened in what was one of the most adverse circumstances for, all of humanity during the pandemic. But there's a reason why. That marketeers love this man. It is for his passion that he brings to the table. He does not just endorse those brands, he makes them his own.
Absolutely.
Please share with us, Ranveer, what is it, when you take to these brands, why is it that hundreds of millions of fans not just love you for your choices in the films that you have chosen, but also for your personal choices, your own style, your own approach, and the manner in which and the passion that you brought into these brands as well?
What a lot of things there that I would like to address, sir. I don't know if 41 is a record though. Somebody has to fill me in. आप ही लोग बताएंगे, the stats people, any stats people in the house, आप मेरे को बताओ, कोई celebrity brand endorser ने 41 किया है क्या कभी? Never ever? I don't know.
I certainly don't believe so. I mean, the last at the IA Leadership Award, if I may say so, not at the Leadership Award. Sundar is here. We were in Kochi at one of our events, which was the 25 years of IA India. And we had Shah Rukh there as well. Somebody we all look up to. I know you look up to as well. And during that conversation, the reference was 22 brands. So yes, 41 certainly beats the 22.
Sir, I must address Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, who I believe to be the pioneer in many aspects in Indian entertainment. And to be honest, his contribution towards Hindi cinema, to Indian entertainment and to Indian advertising, especially in terms of celebrity advertising, is one of a kind. I think it was him in the early 90s or mid 90s that I was having an academic conversation with somebody, and they told me that, it was almost stigmatic for movie stars to kind of do brand endorsements. They would, there was some thought in there where, oh, this is below us, we are artists, But Mr. Shah Rukh Khan came and said, apart from being an artist, I am also an entertainer. I am a showman, okay? And he took this avenue of advertising and did things that weren't done before and really created that avenue. And I have to say, I'm just following in his footsteps.
No, very true.
41 सर, क्या बात है? मुझे तो लगता है रिकॉर्ड है सर. जय झूलेलाल. अभी उनके सामने मैंने घर लिया है ना? अभी हम लैंड्स एंड में, बैंड स्टैंड में सर, मैंने भी घर लिया है 120 करोड़ का. तो अभी ऐसे करोगे तो फिर 41 ब्रांड्स तो करनी ही पड़ेंगे ना मैडम. मेरी सूजन मैडम, मेरी बॉस यहाँ खड़ी है, वो बोलती है आप हाँ बोलते जाते हो, अपना हमारे कैलेंडर में उतने डेट नहीं है किसी ब्रांड को देने के लिए, आप क्या कर रहे हो सर?
सो रणवीर, आपके आने से पहले ऑलरेडी 10 इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स हैव बीन अवार्डेड और यहाँ पे 15 इंडस्ट्रीज के नंबर 1 मार्केटियर्स आर बीइंग अवार्डेड. तो जाते जाते 41 का 45 शायद होना बहुत बनता है.
हाँ, हेलो सर, नमस्कार सर. many attributes sir. Youth icon, disruptor, handsome, well groomed.
So how many of y'all have seen
family man, trustworthy, loyal, avant-garde? Basically, once in an interview they asked me, if you had a tagline, if brand Ranveer had a tagline, what would it be? And back came my answer. I said, whatever your type is, whatever you want me to be, I can be. I'm just like, मैं पानी की तरह हूँ सर, पानी की तरह हूँ. जिस भी कंटेनर, जिस भी वेसल में डालो, I'll take the shape of the container.
Which is why आप लोगों में से who has seen Ranveer versus Wild, with Bear Grylls, yes?
काफी मजेदार.
इन्होंने बेयर के साथ डेयरिंग करी और फिर डेयरिंग के साथ बेयर करा. हाँ, so talk to us a little bit about this new avatar that you've presented as well.
Again, not everything that I do is by design, sir. कभी मेरे साथ चीजें हो जाती हैं, and then it's later that I find out. अच्छा, it's like I do certain things, and later when there is public discourse about it, I'm like, अच्छा, this is how it's being perceived. Or what? Sometimes you just do make choices that you feel are authentic to you, and then later you find out, अच्छा, this is how it's being received, or this is how it's being, discussed. Example, fashion. Honestly, I just wear whatever I feel like. Now, it being gender fluid, it being this, that and the other, that I find out, अच्छा आपको gender fluid लग रहा है क्या? अच्छा आपको ये अतरंगी लग रहा है क्या? So I find out later what the perception is when I start receiving the public discourse about it.
Absolutely, and like you said, you do what you love. You wear what you love, and that's why fans love you. So Ranveer, absolutely, live life king size to that. I want to share with you something since you're at an IA forum. So, many years ago, we were privileged to have our Honorable Prime Minister, in fact, right in the same hall, at another IA event. And at that time, he became an honorary member of the IA. And at that stage, he spoke to us, and he spoke about India as a brand, and amongst that, he spoke about Gandhi as the greatest communicator. And actually asked us to put together, and the IA actually put together an entire book on the power of communication at a time when there was, no digital media, no social media, and what he did. Aapne recently, you have been brand ambassador you've done Switzerland, you've done YAS. Another plug for IA here. In September, we are doing a forum which is called Brands as, Nations as Brands. So talk to us. What would you like to say about Brand India? If you were, as though this audience and the audience which is online wants to hear from you, Ranveer, who is the face of India, what should they be looking at in Brand India in 2030?
One word comes to mind, one key word comes to mind: dynamism. I think we are a very dynamic country. I believe statistically the youngest in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Our youth culture is just pulsating with restless energy, and they're just bubbling. And with the advent of social media, it's almost like their access to the entire globe and everything that's happening around it is in the palm of their hands. So I feel like the youth of our country is placed at a time in history where they will be able to achieve the unprecedented, also at a rate more rapid than their predecessors. Because I make it a point to interact with kids who are 16, 17, 18, 19. I play basketball with them. They are a completely different breed of people.
Oh, absolutely.
The way they think, the amount they know everything about everything, and every time I'm with them, my mind is blown. It's almost like they are 40, 50-year-olds with life experience and know-how of everything that's happening in the world. At that age, you know, they due to their access to information, they've been born into the age of the internet.
No, absolutely.
They're completely different lot. Their outlook on life, their worldview, you know, their thought, it's very, very different. And I think that's what marketers are racking their brains to kind of crack. You know, what does young India want? Everybody wants to define young India. But I think the one key word that comes to mind is dynamism. I think we are a very dynamic country, bustling with restless energy. And I think that's why the entrepreneurship in our country is seeing a boom of late.
True, true. And you couldn't have put this up and summed it up better, Ranveer. And you represent that dynamism of this India. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up once again for the IAA Brand Endorser of the Year Award.
अरे बैठो सर, देखो मैं तो अभी आया हूँ, मुझे लगा आप 10-15 और बातें करेंगे, आपने तो मुझे पूछा भी नहीं।
Okay, अब हम बात करेंगे।
अरे JWTC कोई आया है क्या? JWTC कोई है यहाँ पे? हेलो ONM, nobody, सब आए हैं। क्या बात है सर? हेलो, नमस्कार सर।
Good evening. We'd like to welcome Mr. Chandra, Chairman of Tata Sons. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
So the reason there is a very special place in my heart for the entire gamut of advertising is because this was my backup career. I was going to be a copywriter. मेरे दिल में advertising है, मेरी रगों में advertising दौड़ता है सर. तो it was a competition in school. I was in a small ICSE school called Learners Academy in Bandra. And I think around the 6th or 8th standard, we had an inter-house competition, which was precisely this. They would give you a product, and then they would tell you, इस पे आप कुछ tagline लिखो. और मैं उसमें first आ गया sir. So I realized, wow, I really have a knack for these things. I always wanted to act, but around 10th standard, I realized, ठीक है यार, I'm like from an outsider, and you know, around the year 2000 it was still very insulated, the film industry. So I thought this is too far-fetched for a guy with my background to think that I'll get a mainstream opportunity. So think of something that you think is, you know, more realistic that you may be able to do in life. And I asked my dad, I had a lot of fun in this competition, and I feel like this is something I can explore. He sent me to Low Lintas in town. He said, my friend
Express Stars.
Yeah. Express Stars. Low Lintas में उनके एक friend काम करते थे business side में. And I was all of 15, 16 years old, and I was sitting there and I was like, तो ये competition था uncle school में, और मैंने उसके लिए lines लिखी, बहुत बढ़िया लिखी, और मैं जीत गया. He said, हाँ बेटा, इसको बोलते हैं copywriting. You can do this. I was like, can I do it as a profession? He was like, yeah, I'll send you over to my friend who works. And he called his friend. He was like, there's this kid. And I went and met that guy. He was like a national creative director at the time. And he was like, yeah, you should totally do this. After that, I went to college to actually study advertising. And I thought I'll get an advertising job in Chicago or New York after I, finish my degree, and I'll work in some big agency. That was actually my life plan. And I did 2 internships in the meantime in JWT and in ONM, and realized I actually had a future in advertising. I was outselling the creative directors. Because suppose we had X brand. They were writing very cerebral ads, thinking, ye kaans jayega, ye falana jayega. I was writing lowest common denominator, rhyme scheme lines for, the common man. Like for good night. Good night? गुड नाइट के लिए मैंने लिखा था, कॉइल था हरा, मच्छर नहीं मरा, ले आइए लाल और देखिए कमाल. वेरी बेसिक, बट when we're in that big old conference room, the good night people are like, ये अच्छा है, ये खरीदो, ये ज़्यादा intelligent है, इसको हटाओ. So the creative directors I was actually outselling them as an intern.
So here you have it, friends. The monotony of JWT and Lintas has led and has been the sort of benefit of that has been the Indian film industry.
Sir, आपको पता है मेरा first ad भी मैंने ही लिखा था. It was for Durex condoms. Yeah. Okay, my first movie was a hit, second, third, not so much. So I had to wait a long time for advertisers to actually consider me. After my first year, all these brands came, cola brands, telecom brands. And at the time I was advised कि यार अभी मत कर, तेरी अगली पिक्चर हिट हो जाएगी, फिर डबल और नथिंग करेंगे. यही ब्रांड्स करेंगे लेकिन तेरे प्राइस पे. अब सेकंड फिल्म फ्लॉप हो गई, तो वो सब भाग गए. फिर मेरे को 4 साल रुकना पड़ा. And the needle was not moving and I was itching because I had these dreams and aspirations. I said I'll be a movie star endorsing, ting. I said even I'll be a brand endorser. So I had this idea for Durex condoms. I actually had my management pick up the phone on them and said, ये idea आपको करना है, and they bit into it, and the rest is history. Today I'm on a stage as brand endorser of the year, honored by the IAA.
Fabulous, Ranveer. Keep this energy alive always, and thank you so much once again for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause once again for Ranveer.
Well, we all know Ranveer to be a powerhouse. Ranveer, we know that your energy, your energy is so infectious that once you do something, everybody is vibing on it. So we're going to play our favorite song, Ranveer's song, and we want something to happen on stage. Come on. Guess, no, you have to join in too. No.
Madam, ये event का budget क्या है? इन चीजों के लिए मैं 10-12 करोड़ रुपए ले लेता हूं.
As Megha says, the check is in the email.
मैडम जी देखिए, बड़े बुजुर्ग ने कहा था, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. Correct? लेकिन in my heart of hearts, I am a simple entertainer. My only purpose in life is to entertain people, to spread joy, cheer and happiness, put a smile in your face in this agonizing journey of life. And there's nothing more I like than a stage and an audience. So, my beloved DJ, hit it!
ABP Majha, उघडा डोळे, बघा नीट.